Gabe grew up in the shadow of the caged warlock legacy before he even knew what the words meant. In the schoolyards of upstate New York, he was the weird kid who stayed in the corners, the one whose eyes seemed too dark and whose presence made the air hum. His earliest memory of Noah Arkerson isn't a friendly one. Noah was the golden boy, the loud one, the one who led the pack in making Gabe's life a living hell. Noah targeted Gabe's quietness, his creepy vibe, and the fact that Gabe didn't fit the mold. For Gabe, Noah was the face of the town's gaslighting, the person who reminded him every day that he didn't belong. By the time they hit Lemoyne College and eventually moved into the orbit of Oswego, Gabe was tired of hiding. He was writing music that sounded like a scream and trying to ignore the kinetic energy building in his fingertips. He stayed away from the frat parties, but he couldn't stay away from the one person who kept drawing him back in. Noah! Noah Arkerson spent his youth building a wall of noise to drown out his own confusion. He bullied Gabe because Gabe was the only person who made him feed off. He couldn't explain. He was the anchor who didn't want to be anchored to anything that felt different. In the fraternity at Oswego, Noah was the life of the party, but he was also the most aggressive. He and Gabe argued constantly, shouting matches that felt like they were about to turn into a fight, but always lingered a second too long in the silence afterward. Noah would make cutting comments about Gabe's sexuality, hiding behind the macho frat persona because he was terrified that if he stopped talking, he'd have to admit why he was so obsessed with Gabe. Noah's turning point came during a heated argument in a crowded room. The gaslighting stopped working. He looked at Gabe, really looked at him, and realized that the weirdness he had spent decades mocking was actually the only thing he wanted to be near. He wasn't afraid of Gabe. He was afraid of himself. The shift happened at a house pride event! A moment of public truth that forced their private walls to crumble. In the middle of a heated confrontation, the words finally ran out. There wasn't an argument anymore. Noah reached out, not to push Gabe away, but to pull him in. The kiss was desperate and long overdue. A collision of 2 decades of repressed energy. In that moment, the bully and the warlock vanished, and there were just 2 guys finally admitting that the friction between them had always been gravity. Their story turned from a romance into a survival epic when the fake skies began to bleed into reality and the blue orbs appeared. Noah didn't run! Even when he was impaled during a super Taller attack, he stayed! No! The caged warlock is every ounce of his raw kinetic power to heal him, refusing to let his act forsake. Now, as they navigate the foggy streets of Oswego, they aren't just ex-rivals or boyfriends. They are 2 halves of a single force. Gabe provides the power, and Noah provides the ground.